everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, my name is Sophie and I film all things motherhood, lifestyle, health, fitness, a little bit of fashion, and I'm currently pregnant with baby number 2. So in today's video what I'm going to do is share with you the top 10 products I'm going to be using for baby number 2 that I use for baby number 1. So they'll be products that I am carrying forward into baby number 2, or in fact I think there's 1 or 2 things I never used for my first little boy that I definitely want to use this time. So I've got everything written on a list because my mind is very forgetful without lists, so unfortunately I have to write lists. But I'm literally just going to jump straight into the video. So the first one is a feeding cushion. So I actually think that this is a lifesaver whether you breastfeed or not. I'm going to attach some pictures of my little boy using a feeding cushion. It's not this exact one. I do still have the one that that we use for him, but it's actually at my mum's house. And my friend brought this round the other day and it's actually bigger than ours, so I think I'm going to carry on using this. But I used this so many times. I did breastfeed my little boy. I breastfed for probably, I think it was about 9 months. I combi fed him for, but I breastfed solely for like 16 weeks, and I did use one of these in the first few weeks just to help get that sort of tight latch and let him rest there. And then as I got used to like sort of handling a baby, if that makes sense, I didn't use it that much for actual feeding. I used to use it in bed, so I would literally prop it behind my neck and sleep like that. If he ever was slept on my chest. I know it's not recommended to sleep with a baby, especially a newborn, but you know, sometimes as mums have to do what we have to do, and especially a summer baby that's boiling hot who wants to sleep on your naked chest, it needed to happen. So I used to kind of sleep, well, I wasn't even really asleep, but I'd just kind of lay in it like this. So that's one way I'd use it, and if I turned, then obviously I would feel myself turn. Another way I'd use it is I would literally just leave it on the bed and pop my little boy into it semi-sat up. This was obviously before he could roll or do anything like that, so whether I was doing my makeup, getting changed. I also sometimes took it into the bathroom and I'd lay it on the floor on top of his changing mat, and then I'd prop him in it while I was having a shower. I just used it for so many things. I used it on the sofa. I would sometimes let him nap in it on the sofa. I would literally obviously just prop it up on the sofa and pop him in it again before he could roll. I think they're really handy to take places. You can literally pop them in the car. You can take them on like little UK holidays, or holidays where you're in the same country and you're just driving. I know that not all of you might not be from the UK, but yeah, this feeding cushion for me was a lifesaver. I just found it somewhere to prop the baby very easily without them falling, rolling, and he was always really comfortable in it as well. He absolutely loved it, and you can also use them for tummy time, so we did that as well. So it would literally be on the floor like this, and then he would be on it doing tummy time instead of using one of the tummy time rollers. Because I kind of think they're just one of them things that you don't actually really need. You can either use like a towel, some rolled up blankets, or a feeding cushion, because then it's like 2-in-1 things rather than just using a tummy time pillow. So yeah, number 1 is a feeding cushion, and I actually think this is one of my favourite products as a mum. I just think everyone needs one, even if you do not breastfeed. So number 2 is the Baby Bjorn Bouncer. I do not have this on me. It's currently at my mum's house still. I'm only 30.5 weeks, so I've not got everything into the house yet. But I found the Baby Bjorn rocker an absolute lifesaver again. So firstly, it is so lightweight. You can literally carry it anywhere. Even when your baby's in it, you can just pick it up when the baby's in it and move it to whatever room you're going into. So for example, let's say I was downstairs in the living room and he was in there, and then I was like, right, I need to go to the toilet. I would literally pick it up, take it with me to the toilet. If I wanted a shower, I would put it in the bathroom, I would put him in it, I would have a shower, then I would carry it into the bedroom and pop it on the bed. We used to have it on the bed when we were both getting ready, we'd have it in the living room, like, and then obviously it folds super flat. So we went on a UK holiday when he was 10 weeks old, and we took that in the car with us because it literally just folds flat as a pancake, and we just tucked it in the car somewhere where there was space. And I think with this baby we are going on holiday. I think we're going to Centre Parks when she'll be about 6-7 weeks old, depending when she comes. So I will definitely be taking that with me as well. I'd probably take that over the feeding cushion, just because the feeding cushion is actually bulkier. So when you're packing for two, obviously you need more, you don't have as much space, so I probably won't take that, but I would take the Baby Bjorn rocker. So the third item I'll be using if I'm lucky enough to breastfeed again will be the Elvie pump and the Hacker. Again, I don't have the Elvie pump on me. I think it's at my mum's house, but I think most people who have had a baby or are having a baby will know about the Elvie pump. This is the Elvie Hacker, and it's called the Curve. It actually looks really dirty, but I've literally dishwasher cleaned it and everything. I just think it's just a little bit stained. But this is basically Elvie's version of the silicone Hacker. So you actually pop it in your bra when feeding, and unlike the original Hacker that sort of hangs off your boob, you can't wear a bra with it, this actually tucks into your bra. Does the same sort of thing. You literally put like a little suction in it, it fills up, and then there's a hole in the top there where you just pour it out. So it's very similar to the Hacker, but I actually just think it's a lot more convenient. For one, it's a lot flatter, and two, you can actually pop it in your bra. So there was nothing more awkward than feeding my little boy with a Hacker sticking off my boob and someone walking into the house. Whereas and then I think I started using this about 12 weeks, and I would literally just pop it in my bra, and I found it so much easier. The only thing is it only holds 120 millilitres or 4 ounces, so it's not loads. Depends on how much milk you sort of give off the other boob. I can't remember what it's called now. Is it called letdown milk? I'm not actually sure. So I would recommend it more after a few weeks of getting your feeding in, because sometimes those first few weeks of using a Hacker on the opposite boob to what your baby's feeding on, wow, there is a lot of milk that can come out of there. But if you don't have a huge milk supply, you can start using it straight away. But I had a massive milk supply with my little boy, and I've got a feeling that it'll just be the same again, because they say it actually gets more and more milky as time goes on. I've also kindly been sent the Elvie Stride by Elvie, which is the new breast pump from Elvie. It's literally just been released. So it is a double hands-free electric pump. So the one that I used before is hands-free and it's electric, but it runs off like a little battery. It's just one tiny little handheld thing, whereas this, you actually have like a bit of a battery power on it. So I think it's got more of a suction to it than a normal one. I think it's more like an electrical hospital grade pump, but it is hands-free. So I think you charge this little bit up here, and then you have 2 pumps either side. And yeah, in fact I don't know where the milk actually goes. I will have to get it out and have a proper look at it one day, but I'm really excited to use this. So this is a double pump, whereas the pump I had before was only a single pump. I've still got it and I still probably will use it, but yeah, I only had the single one before, and I once remember driving back from somewhere and it literally overflowed and went everywhere. Whereas I feel like if I had one for each boob, it would be a lot better. So yeah, I'm really excited to try that. So that's the new Elvie Stride. Next up, this is something I did not use last time, but I am 100% using this time, and it is a high chair newborn seat. So it's basically a newborn seat for a high chair. So my friend had got one of these when her little boy was maybe 8 to 12 weeks old, and it was an absolute lifesaver. Like, even if I went to a house, I would put my little boy in it as well, like just to get stuff done. And they're literally there right in front of you. You don't have to bend down, or you can sit at the table and they're literally there next to you, so you can sort of play with them, talk to them, touch them. Whereas again, we would have our little boy in the bouncer on the floor while we were trying to eat our tea, or he would either be feeding off me. And I just feel like that high chair seat is so much more convenient for things like being in the kitchen, cooking, cleaning, and then having dinner as well. So I bought the Eye Candy Me chair for my little boy, knowing full well that when we have another child I would get the newborn insert for it. So I didn't just want to buy a standard high chair that I couldn't get a newborn insert on. I wanted to buy a high chair that I knew I could then buy the newborn chair for. So we are getting the Eye Candy Me chair pod, newborn pod for the chair. We've not yet ordered it, but yeah, I'm super excited for it. I just think, again, it will just save my life. Just little things like making Casper's breakfast on a morning and the baby just being there in the kitchen next to me, or making tea on an evening, making lunch, rather than having to think the baby's in a Moses basket, the baby's in a rocker on the floor. The baby will literally be there next to me in the high chair. Hopefully, fingers crossed, the baby actually likes it, but I do just think it is a life-changing product. It is quite an expensive product. There is a lot of brands that do it. I know the Stoke Trip Trap do it. That's the one that my friend had. Obviously, the Eye Candy Me chair do it. I know Hawk do one. Cybex have now brought one out. There is a lot of brands that do them, and to be fair, there is quite a few brands that actually fit newborns in the high chair anyway, like the actual high chair seat. I think ones that like lay flat and stuff. But if you are a new mum, I would definitely recommend considering having a high chair for your baby, because they're just at your level then, and they're at your height. They can see what you're doing. They're not stuck on the floor. There were so many times I brought the pram into the kitchen when Casper was going through that sort of 5-6 p.m. witching hour, and I'd just literally I'd put the feeding cushion in the pram and sit him up in the pram just so he could see what I was doing. So I do think that the high chair will be an absolute lifesaver. So the next thing I'll be using is a white noise machine. So this is the portable Dream Egg white noise machine. I still actually use this for my little boy. I don't really know if he needs it or not. I just daren't really not use it because we've used it for that long. But it's literally a machine that plays music. So I currently play lullabies for my little boy, but when he was a baby, I did just play white noise like this. That was literally just the noise that I played. I didn't get this until, I can't remember, he was a few months old, and I regret not getting it sooner. I used to use the Snuzz Cloud. That only lasts half an hour, so I found myself turning it on all the time. Then I went through a phase of using my phone, but if I wanted to leave my phone upstairs when he was going to bed and I wanted to be downstairs, then that became a bit of an issue. Then we started using the Alexa, and then that only connects to Wi-Fi, so if the Wi-Fi was ever down, it just was not great. It's even got a little light on it, as you can see. So this is the Dream Egg portable one. I will actually be getting the plug-in Dream Egg, I think, for her bedroom, and then I'm just going to keep this as like a portable one, either for Casper if he's still using it, or then if we go on holiday I will just use this for holiday and keep the plug-in one plugged in. Next, the one thing I will be using, again, I used this last time, is the Milton Sterilising Tub. So we never used an electric steriliser. I think mainly because we breastfed as well. I didn't actually have that many things to sterilise. I just had like the odd dummy, like the hacker and stuff, but even then I didn't sterilise it that much because breast milk doesn't need sterilising as much as formula does. So, and to be honest, this time I don't even think I'm going to sterilise dummies because they're filled with water. I think I'm literally just going to run them under boiling water a few times a week. I started doing that from about 3 months, and my little boy, fingers crossed, is not that ill ever. So yeah, the Milton steriliser is just easy peasy. You can shove it in a cupboard even when it's sterilising things. It doesn't have to be plugged in. It's portable, you can take it anywhere. I took it on all our little UK trips with us, and then even when we went abroad I just took the Milton sterilising tablets and just filled up a sink, popped them in the sink, and then the sink became like the sterilising fluid. The only thing is it does only last 24 to 48 hours, so it does need tipping out and redoing again. But I don't actually think I'll use it as much as I did last time. I'd probably only sterilise like 3 times a week, unless of course we formula feed straight away, then obviously I will be sterilising every day. But if we're breastfeeding, I don't think we will sterilise that much. I will be using water wipes, especially in those first few weeks. So I found water wipes a lifesaver. I know they recommend cotton wool and hot water, but even when I was in the hospital, she did actually say to me that they prefer women and like new mums to use these on their babies because they're just actually softer on a baby than cotton wool and water is. There's literally only just 2 ingredients in here, so yes, they are expensive, but again, it's something that I will only probably use till about 10 weeks, and then I'll move on to like the Aldi baby wipes. Just because when they're so sensitive as well, like the skin's so sensitive, it's just best to use something like this because it literally is just pure water. Yeah, it's literally just pure water and grapefruit seed extract. So that obviously is what helps with cleaning, but I do usually buy bulk packs off Amazon or from Costco, so you can always find them cheaper in places like that. And again, like I say, it's similar to using cotton wool and water, but especially for your changing bag and going out and about, cotton wool and water is not that convenient, whereas water wipes are very, very convenient to have in your handbag. And yeah, I just think that they are a great product for a newborn baby and for your hospital bag and things like that. Right, last 3. So I will again be using the MAM bottles. So I used the MAM bottles last time. I gave my little boy a bottle when he was 10 days old with breast milk in, and he took to it straight away. So they do say that MAM bottles are very breastfeeding friendly. Their tea is very similar to a nipple, and also because of the air vents as well, it really helps with like reflux and colic and things like that. And to be honest, we just never had an issue with them, so I will be using the MAM bottles again. I've got lots still downstairs. All I need to do is change the teats on them, and I've got a few of the mini ones as well. So I literally don't even need any more. I do have some of the Dr. Brown bottles, but we didn't like them as much, and I just found them so much harder to clean, and obviously they're a lot bigger as well, so for things like changing bags they were a little bit of a nightmare. But yeah, MAM bottles is something I will be using again. So next thing I'll be using, which again I don't have any on me because I actually sold them, and I'm absolutely gutted that I did this, but to be fair, the one that we had from newborn was made for the summer, and we're now having a winter baby, so I wouldn't have used that one anyway. But I would have used the next size up, but I sold it. So anyway, I am definitely getting one, and that is the Love to Dream swaddle. So I found the Love to Dream swaddle an absolute lifesaver, especially as from about 4 to 5 weeks. I tried it at like 1 to 2 weeks old, and he really didn't like it. He was like a little wriggling caterpillar. But then we found that he was just flinching all the time and waking himself up, so I just said to my husband, look, I'm trying it again. And then that was it then. Like, he absolutely loved it. He slept really well. And the only thing I'd say about them is because they're so used to the arms just being there and they don't flinch as much and they sleep more peacefully, when they start to roll and you can't use them anymore, I would say that his sleep did go a little bit south, but I don't know if it was to do with that. But I never used the transitioning one where you still have one arm zipped up and one arm out. So if my little girl takes the Love to Dream swaddles, which fingers crossed she does, then I will definitely be using the transitioning one next time, just to sort of help her transition out of that sort of sleep that she will be doing, sleeping like this. Bit of a hefty price tag, but I definitely think it's worth it. I mean, we used to get like 5-6 hours straight out of him since like using that. We used a few other sleeping bags like the Tommy Tippy ones, but to be fair, we found them really tight on his chest, and then obviously his arms were still free. You can actually tuck the arms in the Tommy Tippy one, but he just, I don't know, he was just too big for it and he just didn't do that. Last but not least is a baby carrier. So we use the Baby Beyond baby carrier. I will attach some pictures on the screen. Again, I don't have it with me, it is at my mum's house. My mum has got a lot of our baby stuff in her garage in a box, and that is one of the things that she has. So again, I would say this is a life-saving product. I probably used it 3-4 times a week, even just around the house, just trying to vac, get stuff done, especially when he wouldn't be put down. Making my own breakfast. I feel like if I did not have a baby carrier, I would have never really eaten breakfast unless he was in that mood where he would just go down. I do feel like with baby number 2 and following more children, the more children that you have, the easier you do actually find it to probably think, right, they need putting down. I feel like when you're a new mum, you just don't really dare do that, and as soon as you just hear a little bit of a wince, you just sort of running to them, and I don't know, I feel like it'll be easier to fall into more of a routine this time. So I don't think we'll use it as much at home, but we'll definitely use it out and about. We used it a lot for walks. If we went on walks, we'd use it. I remember when it snowed, we used it in the snow because obviously, you know, I didn't want to push a pram because what if I slipped and I let go of the pram? Whereas walking through fields in the snow with the baby carrier on was absolutely fine. And we literally live next door to a field in a wood, so we wouldn't even have to go on the road, so there'd be no chance of me slipping if I wore her on me. So yeah, we've hopefully, fingers crossed, got a new one coming, and I've actually ordered a pink one, which my husband probably is not going to be impressed by. But yeah, both Baby Beyond. So we used the Baby Beyond mini last time, and then I think I've ordered the Baby Beyond. I'll try and find it and pop it on the screen, and I'll also link it as well. So yeah, a baby carrier I just think is a must, especially if you are wanting to get back into exercise as well, because do you know what, some babies do not like prams, and I'm hoping that mine does. Casper was a little bit hit and miss as a baby with his pram. He really liked his car seat, but the pram he was not that keen on until I actually put him in the seat section. I really don't know why. He just preferred being sat up to being like fully laid flat. I think it's because he was a very sicky baby though, and he was just worried that he was going to be sick when he was laid flat. But as soon as I put him in the seat part, he was absolutely fine. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm going to link everything in the description box below, and I will see you guys real soon. So thank you for watching.